In this video, we will discuss the life cycle of a data request and the software we use to track those requests. Cherwell is the ticketing system our office uses to track data requests from internal and external clients. This is the same software that IT uses to track requests made to them. The easiest way for internal requesters to submit a request for data is through the Office of Institutional Effectiveness website. The link for internal requesters is on the right-hand side, and it will directly take them to Cherwell. Once inside the Cherwell software, they'll need to click the link for Request a Report or Dataset underneath the software category. We ask that the client give a detailed description of the data they are requesting and indicate a due date if necessary. We typically ask for a minimum of 10 business days to fulfill data requests. It is also helpful if the client is able to reference a previous work order number so that we can link the two requests together in Cherwell. External requesters who do not have access to Cherwell will use the Email Request for Data public access link located on the right-hand side of the IE website. These types of requests will be handled as open records requests. Once a request is received, the department head will review it and request any initial clarifications needed from the client before passing it to the Director of IR. The Director of IR will also review and request any additional clarifications from the client if necessary. Once preliminary clarifications have been received, the Director of IR will then assign the work order to be completed by an IR analyst. Once the request has been completed by the analyst, the Director of IR will review before sending it to the department head for final review. Finally, the department head will release the data to the client. Now let's head over to the Cherwell software for a quick demonstration. The home screen gives an overview of all open requests and who they are assigned to. The top left pie chart displays all open requests and their current status, and the pie chart directly to its right gives the status of any open records request. The first thing that you will need to do is set up email notifications. To do this, select Tools, Options, User Information, and scroll down and check all the boxes underneath Email Preferences. This will ensure you receive notifications when you are assigned a new ticket or changes are made to requests. Once a request has been assigned to you, you will receive an email notification. Double-click the bar chart above your name and all tickets assigned to you will display. Your display can be customized by right-clicking any column and choosing Customize Columns. It's a good idea to have the incident ID or the ticket number, the status, the due date, and the description displaying at least. Double-clicking the request number will open up and display the details for the work order. Currently, this work order status is assigned. We can see that Christina Beltran is the requester, and it is not an open records request. The data has been requested in the past, so this means that there should be a linked ticket, which we will get to in just a bit. Using the scroll bar in the middle of the page will let you see if a due date has been set. This due date is the due date requested by the client. The Director of IR will negotiate the due date with the client if need be. The due date set at the top of the request near the description is the due date set internally by IE staff. If no due date is set by the client, the internal due date will be set for 10 business days. It is important to regularly check the internal due date and consult with the Director of IR before moving the deadline. Underneath the internal due date are options for emailing the client, the owner of the request, or anyone. It is preferred to send email communication to the client via Cherwell so that there is a log of the communication. When a client responds to an email from Cherwell, we ask that they reply all so that the cherwell@shsu.edu email is included and the email will be saved in the email log. Occasionally, emails are sent outside of Cherwell, but we ask that these emails be saved in the job folder for reference. Located in the bottom left box, there are 5 tabs labeled All Journals, Journals, Email Log, Tasks, and Linked Incidents. The journals are used for internal updates or information regarding the ticket. Sometimes a note will be left in the journal when the ticket is assigned to you, so it is best practice to take a look at the journal prior to beginning work on the ticket. The email log is where all communication via Cherwell is stored, so it is also best practice to review this prior to beginning work on the ticket. Tasks can be assigned to another individual on our team or another Cherwell team for work on your ticket. A task will be assigned to the Director of IR for review of your ticket when you have completed the work order. Lastly, linked incidents is where you can find a prior work order assigned to a ticket. It is a good idea to review the job folder for this previous work order prior to beginning work on your assigned ticket. Prior to a work order being assigned to you, the department head or the Director of IR will have created a job folder where all of the work related to the data request can be saved. This will include any communication received outside of Cherwell, data or templates received from the client, or SQL scripts. The final report will always be located on the outside of the data folder. The first thing you will want to do with an assigned request is select the Start Work in Progress button located at the top of the request. This will send the requester an email notification that work on the request has begun and by whom. You can also place an in-progress work order on pending status if it is unable to be completed at the time for some particular reason. This may be that the need is for a future date or time, or you're waiting on a client response, or one of these other reasons. We also like to save a PDF copy of the ticket in the job folder. To do this, select One Step Manager, Print Client Ticket Specifics, PDF, and Run. It will ask you where you would like the PDF saved, so be sure you save it in the job folder for the ticket. Once you have completed the work order and are ready for the Director of IR to review, update the track timestamp on the ticket with an estimate of the amount of time you spent working on the request. Next, you will need to assign a task to the Director of IR. To do this, select the Tasks tab and select New Task. Indicate the team that you would like to assign the task to. In this case, it will be Institutional Effectiveness. The person you would like to assign the task to, and give a subject and a detailed description of any details that you would like to convey regarding the request. Also, you will need to indicate a due date for the task. In most cases, this will be the due date for the request unless an earlier due date is requested for the task completion. Lastly, you will need to hit the Save icon in the top left of the work order. Once the task has been completed, you will receive an email notification. It is important to review the email notification of the completion of the task in case any changes or corrections are needed on the request. This concludes the general overview of the life cycle of a data request in the Cherwell software.